Imagine an internal service desk on a Monday morning. The dashboard is green. The average first response has fallen. The backlog is smaller. The AI assistant is drafting quick replies and routing requests efficiently. Every number says the program is working. But across the building, an employee is still unable to complete a task. They received an immediate answer, but it did not solve the problem. They opened another request, then another. What issue is this user facing? Nothing in this scene requires bad intentions. The team wanted to help people faster. The metric was sensible. The software did what it was asked to do. And yet a question appears. What if the organization has become better at the score while becoming worse at the thing the score was meant to serve? Every organization has a mission beneath its measurements. A support team exists so people can continue their work. A school exists for more than test scores. A company exists for more than a conversion rate, a quarterly number, or a productivity chart. Missions are complex. They include quality, trust, judgment, repair, inclusion, learning, and consequences that may appear only later. A metric is different. It is a deliberately smaller signal that stands in for one part of a larger purpose. That reduction is not a mistake. It is how organizations make work discussable. The mistake begins when the smaller signal becomes so powerful that people forget what it cannot see. In this episode, one word matters: proxy. A proxy is a measurable stand-in for something that matters but cannot be captured in one clean number. First response time is a proxy for timely help. A customer rating may be a proxy for satisfaction. Documents processed may be a proxy for productive work. Training completion may be a proxy for capability. Each can tell us something useful. None is the whole story. The problem arrives when a proxy becomes a target. When pay, prestige, automation, staffing, or managerial attention depend on one measure, everyone begins to adapt around it. At that moment, the metric stops being a quiet window. It becomes part of the architecture of the organization. A dashboard seems to observe work from the outside. But once a score controls attention, reward, promotion, budget, or an AI workflow, it begins to shape work from the inside. People notice what is counted. They postpone what is not. They learn which cases make the number look good, which cases make it look bad, and which parts of their labor leave no trace at all. This does not mean people are dishonest. It means people are responsive to the environment around them. The unsettling thought is this: the metric is no longer only a report about the organization. It has become one of the forces producing the organization. This is where AI changes the stakes. AI did not invent targets, rankings, or incentives. Organizations have always used them. But an AI system can search, rank, route, draft, predict, and optimize around a chosen signal with speed and consistency that earlier systems did not have. Give it a narrow objective, and it can make the organization very good at that objective. That is its value. It is also the danger. The system does not need a hidden agenda for drift to occur. Drift can occur without any hidden agenda. It begins with a score that captures only part of the mission, a workflow that rewards that score, and a world that is more complicated than the score can describe. What gets lost first when a metric becomes the mission? Often it is work that is slow to measure, a careful explanation, a difficult repair, an unusual case, a conversation that prevents a future problem, or a colleague who needs time. This work is not inefficiency. It is often the work that makes an institution worthy of trust. But when a system rewards only the visible proxy, invisible work starts to look optional. Then it disappears from the report. Later, it may disappear from the workflow. The score improves. The institution grows thinner. This pattern has a name: proxy failure. Researchers describe a general risk in goal-oriented systems. When an imperfect measure is tied to incentives or selection, pressure can make that measure a worse approximation of the underlying goal. This is related to Goodhart's law. When a measure becomes a target, it can cease to be a good measure of what we care about. The claim is not that every metric fails. It is that divergence becomes more likely when an imperfect proxy is given enough authority. That is why the deepest governance question is not, is our AI accurate? It is also, accurate about what? And at the expense of what else? Return to the service desk. The mission was useful help. A colleague should be able to continue their work with accurate support. The proxy was first response time. Then the proxy became a target. The AI helped reduce it.
A reply became faster, but a fast reply could be generic. A difficult case could be transferred. A request could be closed before it was truly resolved. An employee could spend more time finding a second answer than waiting for the first. The dashboard did not lie. It measured exactly what it was built to measure. The organization made the mistake. It allowed one true number to speak for a larger reality.
When an organization runs on a score for long enough, a second reality can appear. In the first reality, there is the lived mission: people needing help, work needing care, consequences unfolding over time. In the second reality, there were scores, categories, targets, rankings, and reports. These are useful abstractions, but because they are legible and easy to manage, they can become more visible to leadership than the world they represent. Then the organization begins to make decisions for the second reality. It protects the dashboard. It defends the target. It explains away the exceptions. And slowly, the map becomes more real to the institution than the territory. The answer is not to remove every metric. It is to make the score challengeable. A responsible team keeps the mission visible beside the target. It uses more than one signal. It looks at quality, repeat work, exceptions, workload, and experience, not only speed or volume. It reviews real cases, not only summaries. It invites people closest to the work to say what the score is missing. It asks a dangerous question on purpose. If this number is improving, how could our mission still be getting worse? That question does not weaken performance management. It protects performance from becoming theater. Every AI-supported workflow should have a mission review, not another meeting to admire a dashboard, a recurring moment to ask whether the system still serves the purpose it was approved to serve. Speak in the US English with a youthful, cool, clear documentary tone. Present the review procedure in an accessible rhythm. Start by restating the mission in ordinary language. Then look at the primary metric beside countersignals: real outcomes, correction patterns, repeat requests, sampled cases, and the experience of people affected by the workflow. What new behavior the metric is creating? What has become harder to see? Who has the authority to revise the objective, narrow the use case, or pause it? The principle worth remembering: governance is not a fence built around an AI system. It is the organization's capacity to change course before its abstractions become its destiny. AI will make organizations more capable of optimizing what they can describe. That may save time, reduce routine burden, and reveal patterns that people would otherwise miss. But this creates a responsibility that cannot be delegated to the system. Leaders must decide what the score is allowed to stand for. They must protect what the score cannot see. The final question is not whether the model is powerful. It is whether we are becoming better at the score or better at the thing the score was meant to serve.